Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mary Elizabeth with Sacred Love Tarot. So I kind of feel like we all need a little bit more guidance today. For the last few days, I have been in an emotional roller coaster, up, down, sideways, backwards, forwards, reverse. So I have a bunch of Doreen Virtue cards, Archangel Oracle cards, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Healing with the Angels, Archangel Raphael, and Spirit Message cards. I don't think the Spirit Message cards are Doreen Virtue. Anyway, I chose 3 out of each deck, so that's 6, 12, 18. I think it's 18 cards. And I wanted to just do a really quick angel spirit message for you today. So I'm going to start off with the Spirit Message card. So we have choices, ground yourself, and self-sabotage. So in choices, it's accepting responsibility or taking responsibility for your life and the choices that you make. Grounding yourself, it talks about being distracted, unfocused, irritated, and impatient, and are all aspects of being ungrounded. So it talks about now's the time to be to center yourself and allow spirit to help you ground. And then the self-sabotage talks about getting out of your own way, right? Accepting responsibility for your life and making choices that create a more positive outcome, and stepping away from being distracted and unfocused and irritated and impatient. And go outside, spend time in nature. You can do it inside too, grounding yourself. It's all about reconnecting with divine. And the self-sabotage we talk about a lot is focusing on the insecurities and the lack of, and the complacency and the boredom, as opposed to making the decisions to step up your game and step into your power and start connecting with that inner guidance or with spirit and source. So these 3 cards right here together are, I feel, a foundation of what a lot of us may be going through at this moment. The lack of responsibility that we're taking for our choices, and the lack of responsibility we are taking to ground ourselves and to start peeling back those layers and getting connected with spirit and source, which when we don't take that responsibility, it all leads to that self-sabotaging moment. It all leads to putting ourselves in this victimhood mentality of blaming others on our inability to make the choices or ground ourselves or take responsibility for our lives. So we have teaching and healing, career transition, and overcoming difficulties. So I kind of feel like this whole choices and self-sabotage and grounding yourself may be revolved around a career transition, or you going back to school, or learning something new, or even learning about yourself and who you are by, again, I talk about stripping back the layers and getting to the bottom basics of who you are, overcoming the difficulties that have been holding you back, the inability to take responsibility, getting out of your own way, and getting out of what is preventing you from moving forward, and not allowing that inner voice and those around you to derail you from this career transition, or this going back to school, or this career transition into teaching. It's all about overcoming difficulties by connecting with your higher self, by grounding, by allowing peace in and kicking the fucking bullshit out. We have, where did you come from? Archangel Michael, go forward fearlessly. Pay attention to your dreams. And it's time to leave an unhealthy situation. So if a relationship or friendship or family dynamic or a work partnership is what has you not accepting or preventing yourself from moving forward, or from looking at other choices that you may have in order to free yourself from what's been holding you back. If an unhealthy situation is what's involved with you not stepping up and getting out of your own way, then of course it's best to leave that situation and to go forward fearlessly, and perhaps paying attention to your dreams, allowing I'm sorry, that's sunlight coming in from the window. Allowing your angels and guides and higher self and spirit and your ancestors and just that beautiful spiritual cheerleading team that you have on the other side to help you through this difficult time, to help you leave this difficult situation, regardless of what it is. If it's a friendship, a job thing, a relationship thing, a personal thing, a private thing, a public thing, a partnership thing, this thing, or that thing, or their thing, it's best not to. We all want to be. Oh, just here I go. Watch me get on this soapbox. We all want to be fucking fearless saviors. We all want to save the people who are in need of finding their own way, and we all want to help those to get out of their own way, and we all want to build people up, and we all want to help them make choices. In the meantime, we're digging ourselves a fucking hole to hell, because we are, even though we are giving people advice about how to get out of their own way and how to stop sabotaging themselves and how to ground and how to take responsibility and this, that, and the third, we have no idea what we are doing with ourselves. And usually it works like that when people who are very spiritually inclined, right, who are on the precipice of this going either way, who are on the precipice of falling back, which I was the last 4 days, or going forward into this beautiful time of connecting with higher self, source, and spirit. And we have this deep desire to help, but that help can only go one way for so effing long, right? And then we start asking ourselves, well, what about me? What about me? And it's very important that we align ourselves with people who are going to stand by us, recognize us, realize, and help us as we help and recognize and realize them, as opposed to people who only use us for what we are able to give them or what we are able to achieve for them. And I think that's the learning process here. I think that's the learning process. The learning process is you have to, for yourself, recognize that the unhealthy situation that you are in is not a 50-50 relationship. It's holding you back. It's not allowing you the freedom and the balance that you need to move forward fearlessly. You're also being guided to pay attention to those dreams, the way that spirit and our ancestors and our divine being, the divine being within us, connects with us sometimes when we are unable to pull back that veil from our own human eyes. It speaks to us through our spirit eyes, our dreams, our sixth chakra. So really paying attention to the signs around you. Then we have overcoming difficulties. And when we allow ourselves to move past that self-sabotage and we start making the choices we need to make in order to get ourselves out of this difficult or unhealthy situation and transition to where we desire to be, instead of staying where we are complacent and where we feel that we need to be because we need to save the world, then we step into this process of overcoming difficulties. And I mean, I think in some way we all have that savior complex, except for the people who desire to take more than what they're willing to put into relationships or friendships or other types of situations. I mean, there are people out there who just want to take, and there are people out there who are willing to put 50% in of a 100% relationship. And I feel that's the way it should be. But when we find ourselves in these situations to where we are unable to go forward fearlessly, that should be a clue that this situation is an unhealthy one, and now it is time to find the courage to move forward. And this could also be, again, in the career transition, being in a place where you're not treated with respect, or you are not given your worth, or you are not, or you see it, but you are too scared to stand up and say something. And that's also a sabotage moment, a self-sabotage moment, because we are stuck in that scenario for so long. We don't think that we are worth what inside we know our true worth is, right? Ego says, oh, well, because they don't see you like that, or they don't recognize you like that, or they don't realize you like that, then you're probably not worth as much as. But internally, instinctively, down here, way down deep in our intuition and our heart, we know our fucking worth, and we know that we should be going after that, and we know that we shouldn't settle for anything less than. So if you are in that type of situation to where somebody is not showing you your worth, it's time to say, hey, you know what? I'm worth more than this. And if you are not on board to showing me that, or at least being 50% involved in this 50-50 relationship, then I'm out. So you're being guided to nurture yourself, right? In this career change, and I wanted to say something about this whole career change thing, because again, we have speeches and speaking, we have teaching and learning, we also have agent and manager. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of you are thinking about writing a book about your life story, if some of you are thinking about stepping into a time of giving lectures, doing sometimes spiritual gurus go out, like you remember the book The Secret, when they all kind of went out on tour, and it was all of these wonderful people like Louise Hay, I think there were, and Janet Mills, and what's his name? I have a few of his cards. Can't think, because Stephen Farmer, and I think Colette Van Reed does it. James Van Prad does it. A lot of them are, Diana Cooper does it. They go out and they do these big, oh my gosh, it's big speeches. What are they called? Anyway, these big to-dos at arenas and stadiums, and you're paying thousands of dollars to go in and to listen to all of these people talk about spirituality, and talk about how to get in touch with self, talk about how to, and it wouldn't be surprise me if some of you guys have been asked to kind of do this as well, to go out and express to the public what it is that you have learned throughout your time in spirituality, or connecting with spirit, or you're a medium, or you're a psychic, or you're a ghost hunter. I hate the word hunter, ghost hunter. It's not like you're like, hunting, it's exploring, it's exploration, but hunting. So your ghost explorations and your stories, or you're writing a book, or you're teaching people about what it's like to connect with being a medium and spirits and kind of things like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of you are transitioning out of this life of insecurity and self-sabotage and uncertainty into a life of going out into the public and doing these workshops and doing these conferences to where you are talking about, or doing a book signing or a book reading, or something like that. So we have enchantment, that's getting back together, that is getting in connection with you as a child again, right? Seeing everything as through the eyes of a child, right? Being enchanted by the most wonderfulest of things, or just even the little things, right? Stepping up on stage and speaking to people who really want to hear what you have to say. That can be a time of enchantment. Knowing that all of these people are here to listen to you. Nurturing yourself can be a time of enchantment and loving yourself, and really getting creative about how you love yourself. Again, we have paying attention to your dreams, and then we have answered prayers. So if you are moving from a difficult situation, and this difficult situation has had you second guessing yourself or sabotaging yourself, kind of things like that, you really are moving forward into a time of miracles. I mean, we have the card, expect a miracle. Get outside, step out in nature. And we talked about self-love, nurture yourself, right? We talk about getting out in nature. We're talking about massaging, self-care, taking care of the physical body, healthy physical body, healthy physical, healthy mental, healthy spiritual. So we're all about here talking about getting outside, doing something nice for yourself, nice for your body as you go through this transition, because we know transitions can be very difficult physically, mentally, and emotionally. So as we're going through and overcoming these difficult times, and as we're releasing and letting go and getting out of our own way, we have to also remember to listen to our body, to take a break, to stop, to get in the zone, right? To do some self-care, to and then recuperate or readjust, and then again move forward. This isn't going to happen overnight, but it is something that can happen in time. And through this time, it can be a very enchanting time for you, especially if you're not allowing other people to come in and to dictate what these directions are, right? Not allowing people to dictate how you nurture yourself, not allowing people to dictate this career transition, because you know what it is that you want to do. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You know where it is that you want to speak and what it is that you have to say. You don't need anybody telling you that. You know what it is that you that you have to learn in order to teach. You don't need anybody telling you that. Yes, there is this opportunity of a partner or someone in a professional capacity that can help you, but then again, those boundaries also need to be drawn, right? This is what I expect from you. The rest of this is about me and me teaching and me going forward. And that's not ego. You don't want someone to come along and to give you notes on what it is that you're supposed to be talking about when Spirit is guiding you to talk about something different, or if Spirit is guiding you to talk about paying attention to your dreams and expecting miracles, and someone else desires you to talk about that a new program, it will cost $1,500 and there's this wonderful cruise and we have to promote. What is it that you are going? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to follow Spirit's guidance, or are you going to follow somebody who gets 30% of the cut? You know what I'm saying? So to a point, then we have to do what we are guided to do. And most of these people, I believe, have good intentions, but I know some charge an exorbitant amount of money, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for people to come into their arenas and stadiums and listen to them speak about how The Secret changed their lives, or how so we know how it changed your life, but how can I use it to change mine? How can I use following my dreams to change my life? How can I use getting out of my own way and stop sabotaging myself to change my life? How can I use the choices around me and the responsibilities, or taking responsibility for my own life and my own choices, to change my life? How can I do that? How can I use being grounded to change my life? These are the things that I want to know. I know how it has changed your life. I heard you before. How do I get that to change my life, right? And I think this is kind of the direction I feel in which you are guiding. I feel that speaking and talking to people and learning and teaching is very important to you. Perhaps being an author and writing, perhaps you're working on that book or that pamphlet, or you could possibly be someone who's already a writer, and promoting their next book, and putting out little pamphlets to talk about that next book, right? And when I say pamphlets, I know that's kind of an old term, because that means putting pen to paper or something like that. But it could be an excerpt out of the book that you send to people who have signed up for a newsletter. I still write letters. I still put pencil to paper, and I still write physical letters. And I know people don't do that anymore, because the mail has gotten expensive, and people think it's old-fashioned to write somebody a letter or send them a newsletter on what's happening this month or next month, or send a cute little newsletter on how to nurture oneself, or a cute little newsletter on how grounding has the potential of changing the dynamics in your life. And I think that is very creative, and I think that is very personal when people go out of their way in order to do things like that. And I think it kind of breaks a mold of the internet being the greatest thing ever. So anyway, that's my opinion. You don't have to agree. So just whatever you're doing here, however this leads you, make sure you're doing it with happiness and gratitude and love and joy, and feeling something very special from within, right? Nurturing yourself while you're doing it. Become enchanted. I mean, just go outside, go in the wilderness, just look around. Don't put down your cell phone, put it down, and take a look around and look at the birds and listen to the breeze, and pay attention to the bees and the little creations of nature that you may miss while you're stuck behind this cell phone, wondering how many clicks you got on your TikTok, or if you look good from this direction or that direction when you take a picture of yourself. So I'm guilty of it too, not throwing anyone under the bus here, but so I hope this helps in some way. It's just something I felt compelled to do today. Know that you are divinely guided and loved, and until next time, take care of you. Bye.